Hey, hey, Skywalkers!
Hey, hey, everyone!
Meredith is talking in Moana speak.
Ooh, awesome!
So
Wow.
guess what we're talking about today? The Eternals.
Yeah.
So have we all seen it?
I hope so. Yeah, we're gonna be
Judging-
talking some spoilers. Actually, we need our
Yeah.
mics. So
Judging by your comments, I think you have seen it.
yeah, some of you have. Yeah, we posted in our group, our Facebook group, to see who had, what people thought of the Eternals. And yes, very interesting. So I think we're going to have a really interesting discussion here today about this. I'm looking forward to it. Yay.
We're gonna do a discussion and a primer.
Mm-hmm. Well, about the characters, because there's so many
Characters
of them.
and the plot.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right. Let's put that in here. I don't know where our heads are at. We got our notes all ready to go, but not our
Notes, our
microphones.
research, just not our microphones.
All right. Well, there we
Nice,
go. That's
Jack.
better.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is one of those Oppo suit specialties.
Those are so cool.
Yeah.
I've got Cersei colors, sort of. It's green.
You look just like Only she doesn't wear glasses. That's the only difference.
That's it. That's funny.
So,
Okay.
as always, everyone just jump right into the conversation here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see yourselves. You can see, there's Wayne, there's Meredith, there's Courtney. Welcome, welcome. Oh, good. Wayne, it's an interesting movie. Yes, that's a good,
That's one way of putting it.
yeah. That is a good way of putting it. Let's see. We have 7 hours of recording time.
Not enough.
Isn't that exciting?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, so Richard, I need you to speak.
Test, 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 test.
That looks good.
Test.
Okay. I think that's good.
All right. Yeah, so there will be spoilers,
Yes.
just to let you know.
That's
Yes.
true.
Sarah's in disguise. Once you have glasses on, that means you're in disguise and no one will recognize you.
Wait, that's DC.
That's very true. Very, very true.
Okay, so, do we want this video recorded? Because I know how to do it now. I just hit this button. I think maybe we should.
Sure.
We're gonna do it. Okay, do that. Okay, I'm gonna hit record on our audio and the video, and then here we go.
Here, do you want to slate it or do you need to cue it up?
That's perfect. Here we go. This is what you can look forward to on episode 347 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hey, hey, Skywalkers! So what did you think of the most recent Marvel film full of new characters, a complex plot, and DC references? Well, gather your thoughts, but for right now, we want to welcome you all to Skywalking Through Neverland. I am Richard Wolosky. Now, everyone, please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah,
That's me! Yay!
my eternal loved one.
You're my eternal love,
Well,
too.
there you go.
Oh, man. Well, Skywalkers, welcome. We are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel fandom, and it's time to give everyone a big Wookiee hug and a little sprinkle of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers. Now, if you are listening right now, or you're watching us on YouTube, you are a Skywalker. So join us and the rest of our family on a fun and positive adventure through fandom.
Now, we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations. They are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency, and they can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world, or around the galaxy if you want to get on that Galactic Star Cruiser. But best of all, their service is free. Sarah, how much is that?
It's $0.
Free of charge. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them your friends over at the Skywalking Through Neverland Network sent you, or you can just say, Skynet. Our secret handshake.
That's right.
Now, we are recording this from Long Beach, California on November the 9th, 2021. So, Sarah, how many more days until The book. You know what? I'm gonna ask Minnie. Minnie, how how many more days until the book of Boba Fett? Minnie?
Oh, excuse me, Richard. I was just taking a shower.
What? Why are you taking the shower here?
Oh, you don't need to know
You
that.
have Mickey's Clubhouse to take a shower.
Well, Richard, there are 50 more days until the book of Boba Fett.
Well, thank you, Minnie. Now, while you're here, tell everyone what time is it.
Oh, why, it is 5:07 p.m.
Well, thank you, Minnie. So go hit those showers again so we can tell everyone what is coming up. We are going to break down the Eternals.
Yes, this is the 26th MCU film, but it is the third part of Phase 4.
Hold on, 26, 4. Okay, got it.
Now, in this episode, we are going to go over the plot, the characters, and our thoughts, and the Skywalker's thoughts. So, we did post in our Facebook group, so we have a bunch of comments from you already, but also we are live right now on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, and anyone who is commenting now in the Sky Chat, we will also call out your comments too. So, Skywalkers, if you're listening to this episode later, just know that we go live on Tuesdays, usually at 5 p.m. Pacific.
All right, we also have shout outs with a lot of great comments from our Today in Star Wars History video series. But now let's debrief the night we've been looking forward to for months, Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to do that in Things We Want to Share.
Sorry, I broke it. All right, Halloween. we figured we'd give you an update since I guess we didn't talk about, well, we had two very themed Halloween episodes, but they both came out before actual Halloween night. So,
and we've been talking about Halloween since last November.
I mean, it starts in July, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I feel like we should debrief on our Halloween night, and that way it puts a bow on our favorite holiday, and we'll pack it away until next July when stores and Disneyland start their promotional blasts.
Yes.
All right, so last year we went virtual trick-or-treating, as many of you had seen in our virtual video, and many of you participated. But this year, we did it live and in person. Trick-or-treating is back.
Yes.
All right, so this year, there was a lot of trick-or-treaters, which I did not expect.
Yeah, I'm driving home. It's like 5 p.m. and I see people already walking the streets with their bags, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta get home.
Yeah, I was in Pacific Palisades, and when I was finishing up a Halloween job around 5, trick-or-treaters were starting to come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's when they come out.
Yeah, and it was still very light out, which, I think you shouldn't go trick-or-treating until like dusk.
Right. That's what I think too. All right, so let's begin our Halloween night. So you were in Pacific Palisades at 5. I was just getting home about that time, and we were going to go out together later, so I had some time. And so I got home from my job, and my neighbors were sitting outside giving out candy, so I brought all the candy from the Oogie Boogie Bash that we had collected.
And from the Cemetery Lane event,
yes,
which we had even more candy.
Right, so we had 3 big things of candy for 3 houses, and I sat with the neighbors for an hour waiting for you to get home, and they gave me a glass of wine. And that really set my night up.
Yep, when I got home, Sarah was drunk.
I was not drunk, but I was pleasantly buzzed.
She was drunk.
And it was very nice.
She was a lightweight. She was drunk.
Well, I don't drink very often, so it was very nice to have that.
All right, so I got home, and I said, all right, let's get out there. We're going to go trick-or-treating and give away this candy.
Yes.
Even though we had a lot of trick-or-treaters, there weren't enough to give away the candy that we had. So, you know what? If you don't come to us, we'll come to you. So we loaded up big bags, and I got into my Jack Skellington costume, and we were like, 3 steps in, and I had like a train of kids behind me.
Oh, there's one kid right away who was dressed as Jack Skellington, and his sister was dressed as Sally, and they were like, oh my gosh, Jack! And they ran up to you, and they had a whole bunch of trick-or-treaters with them and their family. It was really cool.
And they had a whole front yard set up with a lot of Nightmare Before
Christmas.
I want to say A Nightmare Before Elm Street. I can't get those two.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like keep getting confused.
That's
But
fine.
okay, Nightmare Before Christmas, their whole front yard was full of these inflatables and Sally and Jack animatronics. Where did you get those?
They were amazing.
But these little 3-year-olds were just so adorable because they thought we're gonna bring the real Jack Skellington home to our home, our
Yeah.
winter wonderland.
Yeah, they were like, Jack, come. And I wasn't dressed as Sally. I'll have you know, I was in my nice Halloween spirit jersey that I had just got on Shop Disney for like super awesome price. So I was very happy and comfy
Well,
in my outfit.
in past years, I've gone out as a Transformer and Iron Man and these big, bulky costumes, but I get in my Jack Skellington and I get so much more response.
You do.
People just love Jack Skellington.
Although Iron Man was pretty awesome.
Right, but yeah, because we stumbled into that neighborhood Halloween party
Yes.
and they had an Avengers theme.
Yeah.
So yeah, that did very, very well. All right, but Jack is always fun just because, for me, because he's very lightweight.
Right, and he brings Halloween, and you can see pretty well.
Yeah, very, very well. Now, other costumes as we're going around, I always like to see what is the most popular costumes for kids. And what I noticed was that Harley Quinn, always very popular in Squid Games. So I've got to ask, who are your parents? And why are they letting you watch this R-rated content?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, both of those are very violent.
I saw a couple of kids dressed up in those Squid Game Oompa Loompa red outfits with the
Right.
triangle or square on mask.
Hmm.
And the little girls in they're an outfit you shouldn't be wearing until you're 21.
No, I think they just like the colors. I mean, that's what you're drawn to
But
as
still,
a kid.
yeah, I kind of have a thing about kids getting dressed up as slasher characters like
Yeah.
Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers. Like something in my brain that says, "All right, kids, you slow down on this, okay?
So-
Because you shouldn't be idolizing mass murderers."
Well, there's that new series Chucky, right? We
Mhm.
saw a kid dressed as the little,
Yeah,
the
a lot
new
of
Chucky.
A lot of Chuckies and a lot of
Mhm.
Bride of Chuckies.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, we didn't give out all our candy, so guess what we had to do? Eat our
Eat it?
candy.
We still have some. Our
Yep.
candy's gonna last till Christmas.
hmm So we were out like what, 2 hours?
No,
Ish.
not quite that long this time. Last year we were out 2 hours. This one was like a little over an hour.
No,
walked all around.
no, we were out longer than that.
Okay, well, we were out for over
Okay,
an hour.
between an
How about
hour
that?
and 2 hours. Because at
Hour-
this point, the sun was already starting to set very quickly, so
It was dark.
time was irrelevant.
But we came home, we had a pizza, and we wrapped up the night with the WandaVision marathon, and we started it with the Halloween episode and went all the way to the end. So that was a nice, lovely button
Mhm.
on Halloween.
hmm Loved it and love our neighborhood. One family has this little Halloween walkthrough with live performers, which are these
They're kids.
they're kids.
But they're dressed up and they want to scare you, the scarers.
Yeah,
It
and
was so cool.
sometimes they take it a little too far, but they have a nice setup where in the past neighbors have complained because they've done a little bit too much on the blood splatter, and neighbors just don't like the blood splatter. It's like it's Halloween, people.
Yeah. come on.
Ease up. But they had the smoke effects. It was really, really nice. We always like visiting them and walking by in like August saying, okay, where's your Halloween setup?
Yeah.
You should be putting it up by now.
It was fun.
And other families had nice big blow-ups and nice setups with candles and lighting effects. People really went all out with the lighting effects.
Hmm.
And that really sells your front yard tableau.
And, there was a lot of trick-or-treaters. I'm seeing a bunch of you saying, well, that, they had a lot of trick-or-treaters. And Julie here is saying we had the most trick-or-treaters we have had at our house since we moved here 8 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, so there were quite a bit of trick-or-treaters out there this year. In years past, not so much, but this year, they're making up for 2020.
That's right. Although 2020 was fun, too. All right, so Skywalkers, we have another thing in things we want to share.
We want to remind everyone about Life Day. We just got over Halloween.
Mhm.
Now we're coming up to our next big holiday, and that's Life Day. So as a reminder, on Tuesday, November the 16th at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be guest hosts on the Virtual Cantina's virtual viewing of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
And this is through the Facebook group, Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022. You can also view it through our Facebook group as well. So whether you're a member of either one, you'll be able to see the live stream and watch with us.
And we're going to be playing some clips, the best of clips, and there's a lot of best of clips when it comes to the holiday special. I added in commercials.
Ooh.
Yeah, 1978 centric commercials, the Kenner Star Wars 1978 infomercial, let's say, and some audio commentary from the actors on the Star Wars Holiday Special. So a lot of really fun montages.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a live chat, so everyone who is watching can vocalize their opinions and just have fun. And there's a clip of Mark Hamill at a convention, and he's talking about how how Carrie Fisher would have really loved the Star Wars Holiday Special, and because she just loves the weirdness of things. So even at that point, not so much, but today she would have really gotten into the fact that a lot of people love the Holiday Special, and I think she would have done a really great commentary. I would have loved to have heard that.
Definitely.
Yeah, so just make sure that you are part of either our Skywalking group and the Star Wars Celebration Anaheim Facebook groups, both, one, the other. We want you there. Please, please join us. It's going to be a ton of fun. We did this last year. More fun than humanly possible.
Absolutely.
All right, with that, let's externalize with our Eternals discussion. Sometimes you just can't write this stuff.
Internal? External?
Yeah.
You're funny. All right, so Charles is saying Tobor, T-O-B-O-R? I don't know what you mean. Let us know, Charles.
Tobor. Oh, I bet he's referring to that 1978-79
a
toy.
Commercial?
Yeah, it was like a little remote control toy that you would plug, you put in coordinates, and Tobor would just go off on its own.
Oh.
No, there wasn't. Okay, spoiler. I didn't find a Tobor commercial, but I did find another fun Kenner commercial. Yeah, it's robot spelled backwards.
Oh, got it. Cool.
It's like, Tobor, where have I heard that before? It's like, I know Tobor. My friend Jimmy had a Tobor. Somehow I wrecked it. I don't know what I did.
No.
I kept putting in all these coordinates, and I went down the stairs and into traffic.
Oh, sad.
It was very sad.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still sad as I think about it now. Oh.
All right, well, now we're going to talk Eternals. All right, so before we begin the Eternals discussion, we have to sound off our spoiler warning. Okay. All right. You guys ready?
Surprising, since we haven't seen a film like this since the Avengers in 2012, where we focus on a group of heroes as they all come together. So a lot of comments in the past have all been like, hey, this is getting to be cookie cutter, we want something new and different. You give someone, the audience, something new and different, and they don't come to see it.
Right.
They should have learned with the Star Wars franchise. All right, now let's begin with a plot synopsis.
Okay. So the Eternals have been protectors of Earth for 7,000 years. Now, as their name suggests, these 10 heroes are immortal, and
I'm sorry, did this sound?
yeah, I fixed it. I fixed it while you were talking.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Go back to the
Okay.
plot.
The Eternals have been protectors of Earth for 7,000 years, and as their name suggests, these 10 heroes are immortal. There we go. As their name suggests,
Go back to the beginning.
the Eternals have been protectors of Earth for 7,000 years, and as their name suggests, these 10 heroes have immortal life. And their job is to protect Earth from monstrous creatures called deviants. And the Eternals were alerted to the deviant threat by the Celestials, which is a race of cosmic builders. Now, Celestials, if that sounds familiar, you may remember in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 that Peter Quill's dad, Ego, played by Kurt Russell, was a Celestial. And we also, nowhere in the Guardians of the Galaxy, that place is actually a Celestial's head being excavated for its brain matter.
Ew.
Yeah, and that's where Tavon lives, the
Right.
collector,
Mhm.
right? He's like on that, but it's an old, it's a dead Celestial. All right, so that's what a Celestial is. Now, ever since the Eternals defeated the Deviants several thousand years ago, the Eternals have been living on Earth, blending into society. They kind of have the same mantra as the Watcher, where they're not to interfere. However, the Deviants have mysteriously returned, and the Eternals are forced to reunite in order to defend humanity once again.
All right, so now let's go over the characters, because there's 10 Eternal main characters. So let's go through them all so we have them all straight in our heads.
Yes, okay. So the first one is Ajak, played by Salma Hayek. She is the matriarch. She's the wise and spiritual leader of the 10 Eternals, and she is the one who interfaces with the Celestial Aramesh. He's kind of the big boss, right? But
Mhm.
she's like the second in command. She's what's the office term for it? The assistant regional manager, right?
And that's how they pitched it to her. they said to Salma Hayek, "Have you seen The Office? You're the Dwight of the Eternals."
Yeah.
All right, next we have Cersei, and she is played by Gemma Chan, and she loves humanity and Earth, and she is able to change an element into something else. Like, for example, she can change a rock into water, or cotton, or bubbles, and she's the mediator of the group. And she's been in love with Icarus for, I would say, thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
But currently, she's got another boyfriend who is more than meets the eye.
Ooh.
Looking at you, Jon Snow.
I like what you did there. All right, then we have Icarus. He is played by Richard Madden, and he's considered all-powerful and shoots laser beams from his eyes. I got a very, what is that?
Cyclops?
Cyclops.
From the X-Men?
I got a very Cyclops vibe from him. And often he is the last defense between humans and deviants. He's generally thought of as the strongest in the group by the group. And he has had this relationship with Cersei for over 1,000 years, as you see in the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we do.
On the beach, in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, Kevin Feige.
Yeah. Now, sorry, you guys, the sound is freezing. I'm not sure why. We are plugged into the internet, so I'm not sure what's happening. But if it is too annoying, obviously we'll be putting this out as an episode.
Or just refresh.
Yeah, maybe try to refresh. Yeah. But we should be plugged in. We should be just fine. So I don't know what's going on.
All right, next we have Thena. Now, she's played by Angelina Jolie, and she's a fierce warrior brandishing a shield and sword.
From thin air.
Yeah. So next we have Thena, and she's played by Angelina Jolie, and she's a fierce warrior brandishing a shield and sword from thin air when duty calls. Oh, I wish I could have that power. Like, cup of coffee. Now, her joy is in battle, and if you think her name sounds like Athena, the goddess of war, well, you are correct. And when she's not on the battlefield, she has a mental health disability.
Yeah, which I found that quite interesting and how they dealt with that, all the Eternals. You know,
Yeah.
her mind. I mean, I call it a mental
Oh.
health, but well, I guess we can talk about it now. It's her mind, like she has too many memories.
Right.
And they're like in her head like too much. It's like when your computer overloads and won't do anything because it's full. The
Mhm.
memory's full, right?
Yeah, it's like when you're getting older, you're combining all of these events into one, and it takes someone to say, no, those are like 5 different events.
Right.
Like case in point, you talk about celebration conventions, and all of a sudden I'm thinking of like everyone into one, all the Florida conventions and Chicago and Anaheim. I just get them all mixed up. It's the same thing, really. I believe there's even a cut scene where Athena is getting all of her celebration conventions mixed up. I'm pretty sure.
Nice. All right. Well, Gilgamesh is our next character. He's played by Don Lee. And much like Thanos, he has a cosmic iron fist that he wields when necessary. But even though he is very, very strong, he has this kind heart underneath. And he, in particular, is Athena's protector when she's not in battles. And he's the one he protects the group from her when need be, and from herself as well.
Yeah, a great character. I really liked him.
Yes, me too.
All right, let's go to the Sky Chat here. And Julie says, regarding the beach scene between Icarus and Circe, I wanted to reach out and cover the eyes of the young children in the theater.
Yes, during that love scene, yeah.
These films are supposed to be for kids, so when you have something like that, was this film PG?
I doubt it. I don't know.
Hey, can someone look that up? What
Yeah.
was this rated?
Let us know.
Because it should have been rated R.
Meredith is saying that Gilgamesh is a teddy
He
bear.
is a teddy bear. He's a big, giant teddy bear.
I agree.
All right, next we have Kingo, and he is played by Kumail
Nanjiani.
Nanjiani, and he has cosmic-powered hands and is full of attitude and flair. I love this character.
Yes.
He almost had like those Iron Man thruster hands.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And, I mean, as the decades have gone by, he's hidden in plain sight as what?
As a famous Bollywood movie star. And I love this because he basically is hiding in plain sight because he plays himself in generations.
Yes.
Because he doesn't age. So fans in studios are like, what is up? And he says, oh, the what you're thinking about was my father.
Yep.
My grandfather, my great-grandfather. And we just all look alike.
Yep.
And that works. So that's how he gets around not aging.
This works.
Yep. And every once in a while, when he feels like he's aged himself out, he disappears and comes back as another relative.
Mm-hmm. Why not? All right, next we have Sprite. She's played by Leah McHugh, and she is eternally young. She's a 12-year-old, but she has an old soul because she's been living for 7,000 years plus, and she has this Peter Pan haircut. Richard, how much did you like her haircut?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she, much like Loki, she has the power of illusion. I got very much Loki vibes from her, at least her power.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, I thought this actress did a very good job playing a character such as a dynamic hero, but you've got to be 12 in a 12-year-old body, but yet being 7,000. So she had quite a range to pull off.
I agree.
And plus, always being frustrated that she is in love with Icarus, but she's a child.
Yeah, that
So,
sucks.
Yeah, so Leah did a great job with this role. All right, next we have Phastos, and he is played by Brian Tyree Henry, and he is supremely intelligent and gifted as an engineer and is in a same-sex relationship. And they played that really well in this film because they never throw it in your face like they do in some commercials you see now or in some films. They want to make sure that, hey, look at this, it's a same-sex relationship, and we want you to notice. In fact, it was so subtle that I thought his partner was a son.
Oh.
Because there's quite an age difference there.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so Fastos, he invents clever things throughout history that humans have used to advance themselves, such as the wheel or steam engines that brought on the Industrial Revolution.
And he
So,
would somehow like give that idea
to someone else, so he won't
people.
take the credit.
But even, I mean, honestly, one of the most heartbreaking scenes, which I believe is shown here, is he helped to invent the atomic bomb.
Mm.
And you see the aftermath of
So
that.
it's kind of like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, where it
Yeah.
rewrites history but not changing it.
Right,
So-
exactly.
So it's very ironic how they do that, but they do it quite well.
I agree. All right, next we have Makari, and she's played by Lauren Ridloff. She has super speed, which comes in handy during like last minute crisis. And Makari is deaf. She reads lips and American Sign Language, but the actress herself, Ridloff, is also deaf. Which, I mean, I just think this cast is like so amazingly diverse.
Extremely.
Just in different ways too.
And once again, they don't throw this diversity in your face.
She just is there, and everyone's signing to her,
Hmm.
and she's signing back, and you get it, like it flows.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting this film and its structure.
Yeah.
It flows. All right. Lastly, we have Druig.
Druig, like druid, but Druig.
Okay. So lastly, we have Druig, and he's played by Barry Keoghan.
I think it's Keegan.
And he's played by Barry Keoghan, but looks a lot like Ezra Miller, who
Oh,
plays the Flash in the DC universe.
That's who he looks like.
The whole film, I kept thinking, this is Ezra Miller. And why didn't they make a bigger deal about the fact that a DC actor is in a Marvel film?
But no, he's not. But Druig has the power to control minds, and several minds at once.
Yeah.
That's a good power.
Yeah, this is another great character because he's got a great conflict in that he can stop war with a single thought within seconds, but the other Eternals are like, no, we can't interfere. And he's very, very conflicted because he doesn't want to see the world at war all the time and people suffering.
No.
Because he knows that he can fix this very, very easily.
That's got to be so hard. I mean, you have to exercise some major restraint to
Mhm.
stop that.
Yeah. And he plays it very well. Very, very well.
Yeah.
Now, despite all these cosmic Eternals, there is one other character representing humanity.
And who is it?
This is Kit Harington.
He's a hottie. Woo!
Look at Jon Snow there. Jon Snow finally made it into the MCU.
Mhm.
They're either going to the MCU or the Star Wars universe. And he plays Dan Whitman, who works at the Natural History Museum of London with Cersei. And he's got a special relationship with her. And this is tested when Cersei, she reunites with her former lover Icarus.
Yes.
Not just former lover, but they were married.
Yeah, that too. Right. And they kind of look alike too, which I find hilarious. And
Wait,
finally,
who are you looking at?
Kit Harington and Richard
Oh,
Madden.
Icarus.
Yeah, Icarus.
I thought you meant Dan Whitman and Cersei.
Oh, no. No, so Kit Harington and Richard Madden, which is funny because in Game of Thrones they did play brothers,
Mm-hmm.
albeit half brothers, but still, or half, wait.
It's
Wait
Game
a
of
minute.
Thrones. It could be anything.
Wait a minute, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait.
You're gonna need a big flow chart to figure that one out.
Exactly. Okay, never mind. That's spoiler territory for Game of Thrones. But
So when we get into the mid-credits scene, we'll
Yes.
go into him a little bit more.
yes, because there's more than meets the eye
Mm-hmm.
to Kit Harington, not just his sex appeal.
All right, now let's go over our thoughts, and
Okay.
once again we're gonna read your Facebook comments and comments within the Sky Chat here.
Yes. All right. Here we go.
So do you want to go first?
Sure. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have you go first
Okay.
because yours. Yes. Go ahead.
All right. So I was really worried about this film going in. The TV series was terrible, and I knew it had a long and complex plot with lots of new characters. But it's an MCU film, so I had high hopes. Kevin Feige has never let us down, so I was going there with a very open mind, and I'm so happy that those worries I previously had never came to fruition. I thought the film excelled at introducing the characters one by one. It never got overwhelming, and the actors are so diverse. They're diverse enough that they don't look too similar, which is a big problem with ensemble casts.
You know, you're very right about that. I didn't think about that,
Yeah, and
but that's true.
when I saw the poster with all those characters, I thought, ugh, we're gonna go through this again, and who is where now, and who is what, and the TV show that comes to mind is Mad Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a huge ensemble cast.
Right.
Like, okay, who is this now?
And they all have like the thick 60s glasses and those
Yeah,
haircuts.
and those
the
slick back
60s
hair.
Slick, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but this, I thought the casting was really well done, and the story was also laid out in chunks easy enough to grasp on the first viewing. And once again, my worries were easily set to the side as the film was going on. And it's like, hey, wait a minute, I can follow this, and if I can follow this, anyone can follow this.
Can I break in here?
Sure.
So, yeah, I do agree with you that I was surprised at how well we got to know particular characters because they'd introduce 2 or 3 at a time, never too many at
Mhm.
once. However, I feel like upon first viewing, you can't really dig into all these details, like how the visuals, the score, and the costumes themselves tell a story as well as what they're saying, right? Because you're focusing on that the first time. So I feel like upon second or third viewing, you'd really get more out of this, especially since Chloe Zhao, she's such an intelligent director. And it's like I could see the layers that were packed into this 2.5-hour movie, but I couldn't unpeel them right then because I was trying to, keep track of the plot.
Okay. The only thing that I really found a little confusing were the Celestials. Where did they fit in?
Okay.
But that didn't stop me from understanding the whole plot. And
Right.
I don't like those complex plots where you're trying to figure it out too much and they keep throwing names at you, and by the time you figure it out, it's 30 minutes into the film from where you last left it, and now you have no idea what's going on.
Right.
So I think the structure was very, very intriguing, and I'm looking forward to the bonus features on, I want to say DVD, Blu-ray, but who we fooling? Streaming.
Yeah.
And I want to see how, and I hope they have something where the editor goes through and lays out how he planned out the film with the director, because a lot of big time editors, such like on what we have here on an MCU film, they've got a lot of say in the structure.
Yes.
So
they
I'm
do.
really looking forward to hearing how this was all laid out very, very evenly. They could have used that same editor on Frozen 2.
That's hilarious.
All right, now I want to step back here and talk about the phases. This is part of Phase 4, and I think they should have started Phase 4 with Shang-Chi and this film here, where you don't have to rely on past MCU films to move forward, and maybe they could have snuck Black Widow into Phase 3 and told everyone, no, it was always part of Phase 3.
Right.
But being part of Phase 4, it really throws this phase off.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Because I'm ready for a new phase with new characters and passing the baton on to these new characters the way the Star Wars sequels did. And I want to start to see that now that we're getting new characters like Shang-Chi and the Eternals and films where you don't need such a broad understanding of what's come before. I want to see that moving forward.
Okay.
And I'm ready after 10 years, I'm ready to see new characters. So I'm almost kind of worried about Thor, Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
Because we've gotten these 2 great films back to back with Shang-Chi and the Eternals. I don't think we need to move back with Thor. When it comes to Doctor Strange, I think they're going to introduce Billy and Tommy, Wanda's kids,
Mm,
and they're going to be part of the new Avengers, so that'll be a springboard forward.
okay. Now, Meredith is making a point that originally the Eternals was supposed to come even before Loki TV series in the original order. And this was supposed to come out, what, last November, I want to say? Like a year ago? Let us know, Meredith.
I'm not sure how that would have made a difference.
Right. Well, it would have made a difference in that the multiverse wouldn't have been introduced yet, particularly. And that's like another kind of wrench in the wrench. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess with the multiverse, you can keep the old characters around.
Yes.
Instead of, I don't want to say killing them off like they did in Star Wars, but letting them die. But to really advance a storyline, you do have to say goodbye to the past characters.
Mm.
And I think a multiverse is a good way to go.
Okay.
So you can revisit these characters. But yeah, I'm ready to see some new adventures
Okay.
and new characters and new storylines.
All right. Well, I did a little research as I was writing my review, which you can read on skywalkingthroughneverland.com. And I found a really cool quote by director Chloe Zhao. And it's about how the locations tell a story. Now, she really pushed for real locations in this movie. And you can tell, like, if you look at some of these beautiful shots she used, you have this, like, right on the beach there. They used a bunch of places like the UK's countryside, London, and several different sites in the Canary Islands, which I believe that's what this is right here. And let's see. Oh, there you go. Well, so here is a quote from Zhao. The movements of the camera, the wide-angle lenses, and the deep focus allow audiences to explore the world within the frames and to make discoveries themselves. The visual experience of this film must feel immersive and interactive enough for audiences to believe that these characters have walked the earth for 7,000 years. It's not possible to do that on a stage. So because this was such a big overarching plot and all these locations at different times, she wanted to at least use the physical real locations to place you.
Apparently she has not seen Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, question, Richard.
and she's right now going to Jon Favreau. Wait, you can do what?
Yeah.
What is this, stagecraft? Oh my goodness.
All right, so what is the, what is this? The wide angle lenses and deep focus. Like, what does that do for a frame?
Oh, the wide angle, like, they shoot a lot of big epics with a wide angle lens, like Lawrence of Arabia, so you can really get that immense feeling of a location. It's great to show how lonely a character is.
Okay.
Like, the shot that's coming to mind right now is C-3PO when he's walking the desert on Tatooine in Star Wars, and with a crate dragon behind him. They shot that with a wide angle lens just to show how alone he is in this vast desert.
Wow.
With no hope in sight.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and I love films like that because it really tells a story with the lens. Another film I'm thinking about is Thelma and Louise, when they're driving through the deserts and the canyons, and you just see how vast this world is that's just gobbling up these two women.
Cool.
Yeah, I could go on about wide angle lenses because I just love those films with that big scope.
Okay. All right, before we go on, I need to get something really quick. So
all right,
talk to the people or
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead.
Facebook. Yeah, I'll be ready.
All right, so now let's get into the Facebook comments. Carrie Gordon says, I really enjoyed it. It was a different style of MCU film. Best DC movie I've ever seen. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. All right, Joshua Jordan says, I'm not sure if this is my favorite Marvel movie. However, it did set up a lot of interesting things for the future of the MCU. Yes, with all these characters, I'm really looking forward to this expanding, especially on the fan favorite characters. All right, Meredith. Hey, Meredith. We'll read your comment here. Meredith says in the Facebook chat, this movie weaves the past and future so well. I agree. I went in basically knowing nothing and expecting nothing. I would probably not have noticed the runtime if not for my watch telling me to stand up 3 times. That's hysterical. I did feel that Icarus's choices were a bit telegraphed, but, well, his name telegraphed his outcome. But everything else was beautiful. I came out wanting more and loving the stingers, the post-credit sequences. Yeah, we'll talk about those in a couple of minutes here. So, Sarah, go ahead and read Scott Bowman's comment.
Okay. I really like how he puts this. This is The Last Jedi of the MCU, to put it in Star Wars movie terms. People are divided on it because it takes a lot of different approaches to story and plot than what we've come to expect from a Marvel film. It still has the betrayal by the mentor trope, but it subverts it with the relationship between Icarus and Ajak, and then Icarus with the other Eternals. Some are saying it feels more like a DC movie than a Marvel film, and rightfully so. There's a big, important reason Eternals feels more like DC. We're also used to seeing based on the Marvel comic characters by Stan Lee and company. Moviegoers may not have noticed that that line didn't show up on Eternals. What did? Quote, based on the Marvel comics by Jack Kirby, unquote.
One more time.
Based on the Marvel comics by Jack Kirby, unquote.
That says volumes right there.
Yes. And he goes on, and let me assure you, while King Kirby is a titan in the field of comics, he and Stan Lee are about as different as Mozart and Beethoven when it comes to their respective arts. That's the real reason people are saying it just felt different. It was a Kirby story, not a Stan Lee one. Okay.
But by the time the screenwriters and Kevin Feige get done with it, it's all within that MCU universe.
Well, okay.
And you know, you can really tell the differences between the Jack Kirby characters and the Stan Lee. So I think working from that basis, I think he really nailed it right on the head.
Okay. Yeah, I really love his take, like, this is the last Jedi of the MCU. I mean, this is the first Marvel film to have really divided, like, either people don't like it much or they really, really like it. And it's got not a fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes. I know that much. You know, it's not universally loved right away. And I do feel that part of that is because of these layers that are yet to uncover. You can't really do after one viewing.
Yeah, I've read a couple of comments from people who didn't like it, and I didn't understand what they were talking about, because Last Jedi, they had fans just really devouring each other like pythons.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen infighting in the MCU fandom. Just people saying, I'm not crazy about it, I don't like it, not my favorite. But there's not the fighting that the Star Wars fandom had. That was vicious.
That's true.
So I'm not really understanding, even at this point, what issues people had with this.
Well, I mean, part of my issue was it was pretty long, and it did take a weird journey, not in tone, but what is that, like, ramp up, ramp down,
Every
climactic moments.
Film was going to have their peaks and valleys, and you got to have those.
Oh, I know that, but there was parts more towards the end where the valleys felt even more lower, because it was like, okay, let's move this along a little bit, in my opinion.
Well, that's really something of a runtime issue, and there's been long MCU films and long films in fandom that people have not. If they can sit through Lord of the Rings, they can sit through anything.
Well, it's not only that, but for me, like, as I was watching it, I feel like the film was focusing on these, you know, eternal characters over thousands of years, and the story is just so big that it's hard to wrap your mind around why this matters to us. It just felt a bit unrelatable at times. Now, she did do a good job in creating each character that you, like, one of them you should be able to relate to based on the diversity of the cast. But it just, that's what I felt at a couple points. I was like, okay, well, this feels like too out of the realm of reality. I know we're watching a movie. I know, you know, but for me, it felt unrelatable at certain points. Not the whole thing, but at certain points. And it also did require your full concentration for the 2.5 hours as well. That's a lot to ask of an audience who may not be as into Marvel as we are.
Well, I think that's the beauty of it. You don't have to be into Marvel or the MCU to follow this, because they didn't keep referencing past situations. They didn't mention the Thanos. They didn't
Right.
mention a couple of Avengers, but that was only a couple of times. And if you didn't get those references, you could still move on with the story and the flow.
Right.
So even though it may have been long, with peaks and valleys, or long valleys in your opinion, I just don't see how this would be a film that no one liked.
Well, not no one likes.
Well, not I shouldn't say no one, but
Yeah.
but a lot of people have said a lot of really harsh criticism, but yet I still don't understand what they were ever talking about.
Well, let us know in
yeah.
the comments.
Yeah, I should have written these down.
Yeah.
But a lot of the comments were just like very vague in general. Let's say that. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, because when I read too many of them, I just glossed over it because I didn't want to read those comments that I didn't agree with.
All right, well, let's get into the costumes, because this is something you love, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you think of the costumes?
All right, not a whole lot. They look like Power Rangers.
They did a little bit.
Yeah, with the other very colorful outfits, and I'm big into costumes. I love costumes. That's my biggest draw into superhero films. They look like cosplayers at Comic-Con,
Mm-hmm.
which by this point, Comic-Con cosplayers are they sometimes are better than the actual movie costumes. But yeah, the one you're showing right now on screen, Makari, looks like a cross between a Red Power Ranger and Spider-Man.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, I have seen video, though, because Icarus and Cersei are in Avengers Campus, along with another one of the Eternals, and I think Phastos, and it looks like the costumes might be really cool and full of detail up close. It's just, like, from far away or from viewing all of them, you can't really appreciate them quite as much.
Yeah, and when we saw that one promotional picture with all of them on the cliff, all the Eternals,
Mm-hmm.
that never drew me in, which is why I walked into this with a little bit of hesitation, because
Right.
I love costumes. Like when we saw the promotional pic for the Avengers
Mm-hmm.
with all of them standing battle ready, I was
Yeah.
excited,
That was awesome. Yeah,
because
that's
you have Thor, you have Captain America, you have Iron Man. I'm not really seeing anything that really jumps out here.
got it.
Yeah, I can't see any kid going, oh, I want to be this character based on their costumes. That's not going to happen.
You made that point after we had gotten out of the film, and that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so part of the fun of this film, though, were some Easter eggs, and you caught some of these right away. So I think we should go over them.
All right. Let's do the obvious ones first. The Star Wars Easter eggs.
Woo!
You know what? The Marvel films have had Star Wars Easter eggs in them before. Like Captain America had a list of movies he wanted to watch, and Star Wars was one of them.
Remember that really old movie, The Empire Strikes Back?
There's another one. And in the Eternals, we had 2 Star Wars references. So when the Eternals were on Kingo's plane after they got him off his Bollywood set, we see The Empire Strikes Back on one of the monitors on the plane, and they're playing the carbon freezing chamber scene. So I think this is an analogy to being frozen in time,
Mm,
and I thought that was just fantastic.
that's cool.
Yeah. Also, when the Eternals went to Phastos' house, Phastos' child had a Star Wars coloring book,
Right there, that we have. Like, that was so cool to see.
and it wasn't even in the background or on a shelf.
Oh, no.
Was
Close up, man.
Icarus? I think he was going through it. That was awesome.
That was so cool.
All right, and for the first time, there were DC references in a Marvel film. Take a second and wrap your head around that. Now, there's a couple of Superman references.
Mm-hmm.
One is where the Phastos' child mistakes Icarus for Superman.
Yep, he said, I saw you in London when you were in London fighting a monster. You're Superman. That was hilarious.
It was hilarious. And I did a little digging on this because I thought, okay, there has got to be some backstory here. So from Collider, they had an article, and in the article it said, it is clear that Zhao is passionate about superheroes and their connection to the... It is clear that Zhao is passionate about superheroes and their connection to mythology, whether the characters come from Marvel or DC. Despite Icarus's lack of a cape, the director thinks that there is a clear connection between Superman and the eternal Icarus.
Oh.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean that we can't pay tribute to these really iconic versions of superheroes that we've all grown to love and has influenced us, so we can go ahead and add them in. They're not referring to these superheroes like they're actual superheroes within the reality.
Right.
Like this child had connected Icarus to Superman the movie, or something, or one of the movies.
He had connected it, or you're saying he hadn't?
That's what I'm saying. It's not like these superheroes, these DC heroes, are running around in this reality.
Right.
So they're part of the mythology of pop culture.
Right. Yeah. And that's, I mean, the Marvel world is set in our time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that has been said by Kevin Feige. That's been said by everyone. That's why Avengers Campus is all about recruiting us as recruits, because the Marvel land is us, you know.
And the article says that that Zhao had showed what's her name?
Chloe Zhao.
And the Collider article also said that Chloe Zhao had shown Kevin Feige the script because she was one of the screenwriters, and he okayed it.
Yeah, there you go.
He okayed these DC references.
Well, what's the Batman reference?
Well, there's a Batman reference in here too. Now, this comes from the
Kingo's
valet, the director of Kingo's films, and he says, "I'm the valet, kind of like Alfred from Batman."
I know.
Oh, the whole theater erupted in laughter, and then it was an eruption of laughter followed by a wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, the other eruption of laughter that happened in our theater in particular, because it was a press screening, was when the director, the valet, said something about, oh, YouTube views. Oh, I don't do it for the YouTube views. Our whole theater was like, oh my god.
Yeah, so that was really. I like the way they did that. I like the way that they had. I like the way that they had moved the. I like the way that they had used DC references in a Marvel film. I thought that was very big of them, and DC is like, thank you so much. Now I want to see what DC is going to do to pay them back.
Yeah.
Make some Marvel references? I don't know. But I want to see this. Or DC can just say thank you by telling Warner Brothers, just sell us to Disney. Just get it over with.
I love it.
Because can you imagine the box office success and bonanza of a DC world and a Marvel film? Kind of like Roger Rabbit mixed Disney cartoons and Warner Brother cartoons. If you had Spider-Man versus Superman, or them working on the same side, Endgame would be like a blip in box office history.
Wow. Indeed.
All right, so let's read some more comments here.
Yes. So this one is from Wesley Meekums. He says, I enjoyed it. It was visually beautiful. I've never read any of the Eternals comics, so I had no idea what they were or how they related to Celestials, Deviants, or anything else for that matter. I think my favorite character was Gilgamesh. His relationship with Thena was touching. I think I could relate to him the most of any of them. The Peter Pan Tinkerbell Wendy dynamic between Icarus, Sprite, and Cersei was neat to watch unfold. I love the addition of Karun into the mix. He was like a stand-in for the audience. You know, we would have all had our phones out recording everything also. He's the director, the valet, Karun.
Okay.
He also added...
What? They would always be destroying Karun's cameras. And then
I got a backup.
He's got a backup. He got like 10 backup cameras.
So awesome.
That was funny.
Yeah. And then Wesley says, he also added some nice comedic bits. Not the typical MCU movie, and probably won't be a go-to that I typically just pop in to randomly watch, but a great addition. That's a good point, Wesley. Like, it was visually beautiful. I did like the viewing, but it's not one I'm gonna reach for a lot, just because I know how long it is. and I know I keep saying that, but like, I don't know.
Because of the diversity within the plot,
Yeah, it didn't seem as long to you?
it didn't seem as long, and it's something that I would reach for.
Oh, okay.
Just because if you didn't like one particular character, well, just wait a few minutes and they'll get on to someone else's story.
That's true. All right, you want to read Julie here? I can?
Yeah.
All right, so Julie Green Gildersleeve writes, "This was a brand new group of characters for me. I really enjoyed it. They did a great job of introducing a large cast. It was a completely different feel to some of the other Marvel films, but that just gives more balance to the MCU. I need to go see it again because there are things I'm sure I missed." Very well said, Julie.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what the window is going to be before it premieres on Disney Plus.
Was it
Like with
45 days still?
That was for Shang-Chi, but I wonder if it's the same thing with the Eternals.
I don't know, but I do know that I'm very excited to see Shang-Chi on Disney Plus Day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like so excited for that. I was like hyped after seeing that film. Whereas after the Eternals, I was like, okay, that was cool. And the next day I had like moved on and kind of forgotten about it. But yeah, that was just me.
Okay. Now Alan Kalachi has got a good point here. He says, "I liked it well enough, but think it would have made a better miniseries than movie given all the characters and backstory."
Yes, can you imagine the different time periods
Yeah.
that they could have gone to?
I think everything should be a TV series rather than a movie now.
You can rewatching that, just the last half of WandaVision over Halloween was so fun just to get into her story.
Yeah, I think we're done with movies.
We say that, and yet they're fun. They're an event.
Okay.
Let's read Courtney Turkell's comment. She writes, "I enjoyed the movie. I would not say it's going to be in my top Marvel movies, but it kept my interest. I thought the character of Kingo and his valet were hilarious. The one thing that bugged me a little is every time the camera was on Angelina Jolie, her character just kind of smirked or was staring at something. I felt like the camera shot would linger too long just to see if she would do anything else. I also loved that they had a character that used sign language. It gave some much needed diversity. I think it sets up what Marvel is going to do next very well. Also, I want to see who Kit Harington's character is. What is the secret?"
I think we're all waiting for that one.
All right, well, that's a great segue.
Yeah, it is. So let's get into the mid-credits sequences here.
Yes.
All right, so the first one features Star Fox, portrayed by Harry Styles.
What?
All right, stop right there.
Okay, first of all, though, Star Fox, I was excited to hear that name. Something with Fox in it?
Mhm.
Woohoo! And then I saw him. I was like,
Why?
Not into Harry
Why?
Styles.
Why? He took me right out of the film.
oh, no.
For such a big character like Star Fox, it took me right out.
Okay, well, who is Star Fox?
He is a very, very big character because he is also like an Eternal. And he's got the power to change the course moving forward.
Really?
So, yeah.
Hmm.
All right. But what threw me off more than Harry
I
Styles
think I know what you're going to say.
was that really awful CG Pip character.
Oh, my
His
God.
little, assistant.
Right, played by Patton Oswalt?
Yeah, voiced by Patton Oswalt. But
Wow.
this CG in this it's like, hey, we got 2 hours to throw something together. What you got?
What did you guys think? I'm curious because, yeah, I thought that was really bad, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what happens in this scene? Let's see. So Star Fox and Pip meet with 3 Eternals, Thena, Makari, and Druig. And Druig asks Star Fox why they were there. I don't know what this says. Did you copy and paste this?
So this whole scene was just a setup for something in the future. I didn't get much out of it really because I don't really know much about the Star Fox or
No,
pretty
or
much
the comics.
anything. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
from little I've read. But In the second post-credit scene, we see, I keep wanting to say
Just say Kit Harington.
Jon Snow.
No, there you go.
Yeah, but he's not Jon Snow. He's Dan Whitman, played by Kit Harington, and he opens up this old chest inherited from his ancestors that contain this legendary ebony blade.
Darksaber, anyone?
Yeah, exactly. So he's looking at the Darksaber, and you hear someone from off-screen question whether he's ready for it, and cut
Now-
right to the credits. They cut so fast, it doesn't give your brain enough time to process who said that.
Yes. So who do you think it was?
I think it was Fury,
Me too. Director Fury.
and that's how they're going to connect all of these MCU films.
That would make sense.
With him always being the one to bring in to gather future heroes,
Mhm.
kind of like Val from
Right.
Falcon and the Snowman.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh, it's after 6, Richard.
Yeah.
We're done.
Oh my goodness.
Well, so I mean, I'm so glad that Kit Harington's character is more of a character than just a
Just a
person,
throwaway character.
A throwaway in this movie. Like, I'm glad he's gonna be something because, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to see Fury up against Val because they're both collecting their new ensemble.
Yeah.
So I really think it was Fury. What does everyone else think? that would be great.
Nice.
All right, so with that, let's wrap it up by asking everyone, where does this fit in the MCU? And by that, I say, where does this fit in with films that you would want to rewatch? I know, Sarah, you alluded to the fact that this is not one of your favorites, but I would say this would be up top there. Because like I said earlier, the plot is the structure is always changing, so you're
Okay.
always coming into new characters, so you're not always having to follow one particular protagonist.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold
Okay.
on.
Yeah. We're getting some comments.
Hold on here. In the
from-
Sky Chat,
Yes.
the Sky Chat has got some input on who this disembodied voice was.
Yes.
I say Fury. Sarah, who did you think it sounded like?
I mean, I thought it was Fury as well. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it clicked. However, Meredith and Wesley are both saying it's Blade, which makes sense too, because that movie is coming.
Mhm.
Isn't it played by Cottonmouth? That's his name. I mean, that's his
From
name.
Luke Cage.
Yeah.
You know what? It wasn't him. It was Wesley Snipes.
What? Oh, well, no, I know that. No, in the future. They've announced a Blade
Yeah.
film.
But I don't know much about Blade, but I know
Okay.
he's a
A
vampire hunter.
Right. And they mentioned vampires in one of the films. Spider-Man, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So is that confirmed then, Meredith and Wesley?
or that's just
sounds
a
like-
hunch.
Sounds like it's confirmed, and probably they watched some YouTube videos.
Hmm. All right. So Sarah, where does this fit in? Or have you
Oh,
already
gosh.
answered that?
Well, no, okay, so I feel like, again, like right now it ranks kind of lower for me because for me it just wasn't as enjoyable of a film to watch. I had to really concentrate. So it was more of a thinking film. So when I'm in the mood to think and really dig into things, I'll watch this again.
Okay.
However, if I'm looking for something to veg out to on a Sunday night, which is our night of chill, I'm not going to reach for this film. I'm going to reach for Thor. I'm going
Okay.
to reach for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I think it just depends on what mood I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, I would say it's up there. If I had 3 films that I would go to rewatch, it would be Eternals, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Ant-Man. Just because each film is just so different,
Okay, that's a good question.
and even Shang-Chi.
Right? No, I was gonna say. So for me, Shang-Chi is like number 1 on my list right now to rewatch because we've only seen it once and it's coming soon, and I'm so excited because I had such fun with that film. So Shang-Chi, always Guardians of the Galaxy is gonna be one I like to rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think of the third one. Probably one of the Captain Marvel. Probably Civil War.
All right. Okay. Good. But
Or
this
Black Widow. Okay, go ahead.
this just in, Meredith is saying in the Sky Chat, it was confirmed by Chloe Zhao that it was Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
Mahersh.
So here, this just in, Meredith is saying that yes, it was confirmed by Chloe Zhao that the character voicing that voice was Mahershala Ali, Blade, coming up. So cool.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't think she should have said that because it's great fun to
Speculate.
try to speculate on who that was. So let's just keep that out there. But answers are good too.
Yeah.
All right, Skywalker. So thank you very much for chiming in there in our Facebook group and in the Sky Chat. Had a lot of fun externalizing the Eternals.
And then we're going to internalize them. I don't know. Never mind. All right, so now it's time for shout-outs. All right, so we are going to list some comments that we've gotten on our Today in Star Wars History videos on our YouTube channel.
All right, Julie Gildersleeve, she had a comment about the Ewoks episode Wicket's Wagon video. And she writes, "No battle wagon for me." And this was the episode that featured the Ewok battle wagon that Kenner had made. And I was pouting because I never got this as a kid. And she writes, "No battle wagon for me, but I do have the Ewok long sleeve hooded tee that Sarah was wearing. Love that."
Yay! Yay, Julie. I want to see a picture. Woohoo! Selfie. All right, now we got a comment on the Ted Burnett birthday video. Lee DeMarbre says, "That was one of the best ones yet." Thank you, Lee.
Toddy Perez also commented on the Ted Burnett video, and Ted Burnett was the bartender in Star Wars. Wooher. That's the one. And we had mentioned that Ted Burnett was cast from the Ugly Model Agency for that. And Toddy says, "Wait, there's an Ugly Model Agency?"
In England, there is.
Yeah, and I do believe more films and TV shows should go to the Ugly Model Agency because I hate looking at supporting players and extras that are just too
model-esque.
Yeah, and prepped and primed to be on camera. Look at the cantina. It's like, ooh, these people have been around the galaxy. They have battle scars on their faces. That's what I want to see. All right, Alan Sanborn writes about the Jim Cummings birthday video. And he writes, "It's hard to imagine the voices of Hondo Ohnaka and Winnie the Pooh coming from the same man, but there he is. Because he voices Winnie the Pooh and Hondo Ohnaka and Darkwing Duck, and Jim Cummings voices like a ton of characters." So Alan also says, "And those would be my favorite two of his voices. Hondo is such a huge part of the Star Wars universe now, but there is something so iconic and calming about the voice of Winnie the Pooh. Thanks for always connecting the puzzle pieces."
Aww, cool. All right, and Austin Snow writes on one of our videos, "I love Star Wars." We love that we're spreading the love and that you love Star Wars.
Just says it all right there.
Yeah.
Austin, we couldn't agree more.
All right, well, that wraps up episode 347 of
Skywalking Through Neverland.
We want to thank all of you Skywalkers for weighing in on everything, and thanks for joining us on the live stream. And if you're listening to us wherever you are right now, thank you so much.
Now, once again, set the date for Wednesday, November 17th for the Life Day meetup at Galaxy's Edge West. We want to see all the Skywalkers there, and if you're going to come, you know what? Bring your red Snuggies. Bring a glowing globe. Sarah, go show everyone our glowing globe. There you go. Now, for more information on Life Day Batuu and beyond, go to that group, Life Day Batuu and Beyond, on Facebook. There you go. Now, we had previously said that we were going to be there on the 14th of November, but we're going to see the monkeys.
Woohoo!
So we will be there on November the 17th.
Now join us this Friday, Skywalkers, at 6:30 p.m. Pacific for a Disney Plus Day Zoom party. November 12th, woohoo! If you're not like watching a movie at AMC or something, come join us for a party. We'll probably have some games. We'll kind of I don't know. It's gonna be a fun time. We're not gonna have like a big chat. We're not gonna have like a, what is that called? A chat about one particular thing.
So it's going to be a group discussion on everything that's coming on Disney Plus. So
Yeah.
bring your conversation and we'll dive right into it. Can't wait to see the Under the Helmet Boba Fett story and then the other things.
Yeah.
Like Home Sweet Home Alone.
Okay, we just saw the trailer for that this morning. I thought it was damn cute. I am here.
You know
for
what?
it.
We'll talk about that too.
Yes. All right. Well, sign up to receive our newsletter. You can sign up by clicking on the link in our show notes or heading to skywalkingthroughneverland.com. Look for the tab, sign up for our newsletter. Now, also, Skywalkers, make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel because coming up, we are going to the brand new Disneyland Christmas party. It's called Merriest Nights this Thursday, the 11th. And we're going to have video from that. We're going to have a giveaway from that with Small World Vacations. Then next week, we're going to be there on Life Day, and we're going to take video
Oh, yeah,
as
we
well. So we'll be posting that. So all that fun stuff will be coming. We also might try some new foods at Galaxy's Edge since they're putting out some new foods for Life Day.
Mm-hmm. Lots of great things coming up, especially a guest that we're talking to tomorrow.
That's true.
Yeah, not a video, but on an upcoming podcast. Someone I've wanted to talk to for close to 40 years. I've gotten very close, but now we have him.
And we're going to, well, yeah, I don't know if you need any other hints.
Nope.
But he's been wanting them for 40 years, so there's your hint.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'd also like to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations. Are you thinking of a trip to Disney parks? Are you thinking of a trip on a Star Wars Galactic Cruiser? Well, you can fill out a get a quote form at smallworldvacations.com, and their vacation planning service is free. So check it out, and always tell them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, do you love skywalking through Neverland? And do you love all the... Oh, sorry, go ahead and answer.
I do.
Thank you. Now, do you love all the Marvel and Star Wars shows coming to Disney Plus?
Oh, why, yes.
Do you love Home Sweet Home Alone?
Oh, I'm not sure yet, but I'll watch it.
Well, consider becoming a member of the Elite Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon.
Yes, here we have posted a bunch of Disney Plus Zoom chats as audio podcasts. We posted our night at the Hollywood Bowl with John Williams.
Mm-hmm.
There, lots of really awesome bonus content. And that begins at only $5 a month. We've had a couple new Skywalkers sign up for the Skywalking Force. That is just so exciting. We are 40 strong there. So amazing. So head to skywalkingforce.com, have a look at all the options, and thank you to those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force.
You are the life force of our network.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network,
Skynet.
where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
The Max Effects Podcast.
The Neverland Clubhouse,
Resilient Squadron.
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies.
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis, Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics, and our brand new series, Today in Star Wars History.
You can find us on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Right now, we have a Loungefly giveaway going on our Instagram right now. So make sure you head over there at Skywalking Pod. It's the cutest little Grogu Baby Yoda Loungefly. It's adorable. And you can also join our Facebook group. And you can email share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it to the show. And
Always remember to never land on Alderaan.
to assemble the Eternals and then externalize them.
When there's a deviant around, Fallen and Eternal.
The end.
Okay. All
All right,
right.
there you have it.
There you have it, Skywalkers. Thank you for joining us. Yay! Sky. And the lag is very big tonight. I don't know why.
Mm.
I don't know.
All right. Meredith asked, the special Life Day menu.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some new foods. It didn't look all that great. Yeah, it came out today. I'll show it to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it just at Docking Bay
No,
7?
they're all over. There's like 2 things at Oga's. There's